未来洗联储还 HDO 洗币会别人抢着来成为国家流通的货币。接下来被国家认可、主权认可、主权流通，甚至大的这沼泽地控制的金融集团流通，这是一定会发生的。
Okay, good morning. Welcome to episode 28 of Crypto News Talk. Before we start, I want to greet my co-host, True 007. Happy Chinese New Year.
Wow. Hi, Bindi. Happy Chinese New Year to you. So we've been in a team for the last almost 2 years now, together doing mostly English programs. So it's very exciting.
Only English program.
Yeah, only English programs. That's right. Okay, and we also become the spontaneous translator for other Chinese speakers who come to our program to be interviewed, such as Escape from She's China. Okay, so
okay,
it is the first day of the lunar Chinese New Year, the year of rabbit. So may you and I together, our team, of our HA, to wish our global brothers and sisters a happy, lunar, prosperous Chinese New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. So back to you, Bindi.
Okay, we are a little bit late, so sorry. But nevertheless, we have a fantastic program we have prepared for you. Before we start, we have some commercials. But so we are just going to go through our disclaimer. This is not financial advice. It's just our personal opinion on crypto-related topics. And if you want to buy and sell, please do your own research. Then, of course, the next thing is about, again, commercial on our program. Our English program is on Sunday. Beijing time 9 o'clock, Sydney time 12 o'clock, and New York time at 20:00 on Saturday. That's our commercial. So we want to launch straight into the topic for today. What is AML? What's AML? Over to you.
What's AML? Okay, it stands for anti-money laundering. AML broadly covers how companies adopt the people, processes, and technology to uncover money laundering, terrorist financing, criminal activities, including fraud, bribery, and corruption, tax evasion, and organized activities across the enterprise. KYC is an important part of an anti-money laundering program. So, what is the difference between AML and compliance? Bindi?
Okay, AML and KYC are some things. These are two things that Malcolm has mentioned a lot. So we must get used to the acronym AML and KYC. So what is the difference between AML and compliance? AML ensures that illegal funds do not enter the legitimate financial system. And AML compliance is an essential requirement for regulated entities such as banks, finance, money service businesses, and insurance companies. So that's the difference between what is AML and AML compliance. Basically, they are just one and the same thing. And, for a lot of people to overcome AML, what do? They buy properties, real estate, right? That's why Australian real estate prices are the way they are. Because a lot of the kleptocrats in the world, they all buy expensive properties in Australia. So now we want to move on to the next topic, which is Australia's AML or CFT regulator. Who are they? Over to you.
Okay, so here what I got is okay. Actually, I have why is KYC required. By the way, I'll just add that on to the objectives of KYC. Processing is to reduce the risk of fraud, money laundering, and other digital crimes. KYC policies ensure that only legitimate users can access cryptocurrency services, making digital transactions more secure. Here you go. Wang Qishan, Fu Zhenghua wouldn't be able to use our. All right. So our account, Himalaya Exchange. All right. Canada's first. All right. Is that one? Canada's first Bitcoin?
No, we have to talk about Extract. Extract is Australian transaction report.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that first, because that will answer the question as to who is Australia's regulator, AML regulator.
Yeah, Australian's regulator. Well, for that, it's basically is that the ASIC.
No, Extract. We want to talk about Extract is Australia's primary financial regulator. It's called Australian Transaction Reports and Analysis Centre, Extract. So companies have to meet the following key compliance. Financial services must register with Extract to get a license, and the companies must appoint an AML compliance officer to oversee the AML program. So there's must be a process, which is to report suspicious activities to Extract, and also a system implemented to keep customers' AML records for at least 7 years. So that's, who has it? Himalaya Exchange has it. And, when you get called, when you get asked by Himalaya Exchange, prove your source of funds and all this sort of thing, basically it is just, they're just complying with AML, their AML process. So next one, we are going to talk about Grayscale. Grayscale, next slide is, this is the slide that's on the screen right now. Is Canadian first Bitcoin, it's into GBTC. So over to you.
Okay, good. All right. So Canadian first Bitcoin ETF is into GBTC market share. For 4 months after the launch of Canadian's first Bitcoin ETF in early 21, shares of the Grayscale, of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is called the GBTC, have traded at the discount to the spot price of BTC. Number two, Crift Shift, of the Chief Technology Officer, and at the chain analysis, provide the grassroots shares. This is observation on Twitter on April 1st, 21, noting that the shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust have an average premium of minus 6%. Remember, so losses 6% in March. He also noted that the discount in the share of the Grayscale Bitcoin Fund coincide with the launch of the Canadian Purpose Bitcoin ETF. Since its launch in late February, the Purpose Bitcoin ETF has held 16,000 Bitcoins, worth about 940 million. The timing of the drop of GTBC premium coincide with the launch of the Purpose Bitcoin ETF, so which could attract investment from GBTC. Galaxy Digital CEO Novograd also tweeted, Grayscale used to be a no-brainer for institutional investors. Now there's an ETF in Canada that charges 40 BPS, and there are many funds in the US that also charge very low fees. So what's next? Significant discount due to the cryptocurrency storm. Bindi.
GBTC is supposed to be pegged to BTC, but instead it is actually right now, end of last year, was trading at one time discount of 45 to 50%. So in other words, Grayscale GBTC has actually just joined many other supposedly stable coins and trading off their par. And specifically, the asset is a discount below its net asset value. And the firm has already found itself in trouble after the 3 Arrow Capital debacle and later suspended withdrawals because of its own exposure to FTX. Again, FTX. So what is the exposure? FTX is up to 175 million. So more and more people get dragged through the mud because of FTX, because they are just lending money and borrowing money one to the other. And with FTX going downhill, it just means that the domino effect has already started. So a few months before the event, institutional clients started selling the GBTC continuously to reduce exposure. So what does that mean? If they start just selling GBTC, it's just going to backfire to eventually to BTC. So over to you, 2007 on DCG group response.
Yeah. Okay. 7 minutes. Okay. This I agree with you, Bindi, about this. Supposed to be backed the BTC stablecoin. We're not mentioning about even if the BTC is stable, okay, Bitcoin is stable in price-wise, retail price, but if you packed into the BTC and then you use misappropriate the customer's money or investment's money from the purpose, this is where the big problems. So it's gonna be amplify whatever the Bitcoin or the algorithm piggyback.
And people start selling each other's coins.
Yeah.
So GBTC, because of Bitcoin, goes down, and then other people start selling GBTC. So everybody start disposing each other's tokens or coins. So what is going to happen?
Yeah, I think this domino effect is very apparent. Every empire, including Lehman Brothers, I remember when they crashed, it just, it's just the whole news. Wall Street, everyone's panicking, and then the media blow that emotion to the whole market. So everyone thinks it's the end of the world. Bingo. It was nothing. Okay. In a second. Empire fall. This is how I think looks like the Bitcoin might be gonna be triggered like that. Okay. Same as the CCP. That's why they're gonna disappearing with the speed of light. Well, so let's talk about the DCG group's response. However, digital currency group seems to have made decisions to buy the GBTC themselves to take over, but not to modify the supply of Bitcoin held behind. Such an operation makes DCG Group the largest holder of its own investment products. Nevertheless, the price of GBTC did not hold. Instead, it continues to fall while dragging down the DCG Group's position. However, faced with an extreme situation, the group had to borrow $1 billion.
Wow.
Okay, faced with the current market context, it is hard to imagine that investors would be inclined to lend DTC so much money. In other words, they would certainly have to sell the GBTC, okay, blaming to the huge losses possessed. This clearly has the potential to send the price of Bitcoin plunging and bring it below 10,000. It could be less than 10,000, 2,000. It could be. We'll see.
Wow.
Yeah. Back to you. How the SEC relentlessly pursued.
Grayscale wanted to convert GBTC into an ETF, similar to investment vehicle that can be traded on the stock exchange. And then Grayscale Bitcoin ETF specifically allowed institutional participants to redeem their shares, which would have an impact on the number of shares in circulation, and then close the price between GBTC and Bitcoin. But all attempts at graying have been blocked by SEC, because SEC, they still view cryptocurrency very much like a conventional listed company. So they've canceled all spot ETFs, which are correlated to a Bitcoin market price. So SEC only allows future ETFs. So if they only allow future ETFs, so whatever that they try to do to make the par of GBTC, closing the price gap between GBTC and Bitcoin is just not going to work. So next, we move on to possibility of bankruptcy and liquidation.
Yeah, sure. But don't you think that what the SEC is, pursued, they're trying to do, let them to trade the ETFs continues. It's just a gambling. It's a guessing how much the Bitcoin price is going to go up and down in the future. So it's a guessing game for futures market. You're never going to get that out. I think the futures markets are played by even the big market makers, the big banks.
You know, I'm guessing that SEC is doing this also to crash the crypto market, because when crypto market crashes, is actually good for fiat, is actually good for the reserve currency, right? Which is the USD.
Correct.
I think I'm guessing.
Well, yeah. I think your guess is right. Anyway, that's what they're trying to do. But Miles Gore said, well, they can stop that trend or not. It's not possible. In the future, in 10 years' time, we're going to share half with fiat. Okay, our digital currency, especially our Himalaya exchanges. So let's see how's the possibility of bankruptcy liquidation. Right? After Janus Global began stopping withdrawals on November 16th, rumors began circulating that the DCG was also insolvent status and would need to liquidate the GBTC again to pay off creditors. Grayscale has since clarified that the laws, regulations, and documents defining Grayscale digital asset products prohibit lendings, borrowings, and otherwise pledging the digital asset of such products, and that the Bitcoin is Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, will only be held by GTBC. Back to you, Bindi. So an open letter in New Year's reveals Grayscale parent company DCG is deep in debt.
Yeah, it just seems to me that by writing such an open letter, it is actually alerting everybody who is in this game to ditch anything related to DGC, and even with Gemini. It's going to impact everybody. So when they write such an open letter from Gemini Exchange co-founder Cameron Winkleworth to DCG founder Barry Hilbert about, come on, you are owing me $900 million, payback. And then DGC then wrote back and say, no such thing. I didn't borrow you borrow 1.675 billion from Gemini Exchange. All these tit for tat type of exchanges, it's not going to get any confidence in investors for this both the entities. So I think we can then safely say the butterfly effect has already started.
Yeah, I think definitely butterfly effect caused by the DCG crisis. All right, it is a butterfly effect. To me, what you just shared, that the news, it's like two kids are arguing, or two neighbors' wives are arguing about, whose chicken eat whose grasses and so on.
I think they are getting desperate. They are so desperate now. Yeah. And you go into the court, it's going to be so expensive and everything. So in that bid to want to salvage something, that's what they are doing, that they're throwing mud at each other. So let's talk about the butterfly effect.
Yeah, butterfly. During the current the bull and bear cycle, many Bitcoin miners mismanaged their funds and held a large amount of Bitcoin on their book. For example, Core Scientific, which filed for bankruptcy, left almost all of its Bitcoins on its balance sheet and did not start selling these Bitcoins until after the market collapsed in May 2020. That's one. Number one. And two is with the outbreak of the DCG crisis, the odds are that this will lead to a drop in Bitcoin prices, and the mining companies that are already having a bad time in the current bear market are likely to sell further Bitcoins to get by and causing Bitcoin price to spiral downwards. That's bad. And currently, mining companies that have gone public or seen their shares prices plummet include Compute North bankruptcy. Gold share price plunged 50%. Bitfarms, Nasdaq issued a delisting warnings. And Core Scientific share prices nearly went zip. According to CoinDesk, miners are expected to have at least another 1 to 2 billion in unexpected debt stock. Huge time bomb. Back to you, Bindi.
Okay, so now we actually want to talk about impact of DCG, the parent company of Grayscale Fund, going into a meltdown. So if that is actually the case, the negative impact of the industry will be no less than FTX. That's because FTX and Luna, that's because, you know, they are just as big. And then if that is the case, the impact on retail investors and market makers is just going to be so huge. Now, just to recall, to assess how big, if this DCG were to crash, how big it will be. So we have to look back at as to what already has happened. With Terra Luna crash, they liquidated only 80,000 Bitcoins. The price of Bitcoin plummeted all the way from 40,000 to 20,000. And with GBTC, that holds now, they hold more than 10 times more than Terra Luna. GBTC currently holds 334,000 GBTC. So if GBTC were to be crashing, you can imagine where Bitcoin prices is going to be, and we're going to end up. So all these companies, like clients like Genesis, DGC, they'll be gone, right? So anybody who are invested in all this, if you don't cash out now, you know what is coming. So all this biggest problem of the Grayscale funds is because of lack of independent third-party supervision. And that is the case for actually all the ones that we have seen so far. You look at FTX, you know, it's a team of about 10 people running the whole show, trillions of dollars. Now, lack of independent third-party supervision is what we have, Himalaya Exchange has, and what other exchanges do not have. Now we want to go on to talk about the star of cryptocurrency, that's MileScore. Now MileScore doesn't own anything and that doesn't have any interest in Himalaya Exchange. He's only the person who gave advice to Himalaya Exchange. Now let's watch what he has to say.
Sure.
审计，现在全世界的几大审计公司都离开了货币审计这个交易机构。4大都是犯罪分子，还有个信用评级机构都是犯罪分子。就未来是区块链的审计啊，网上的自发的，就是客户都是审计员，我都可以审计你的每个业务，任何政府都没有借口说你这个审计有问题。就是未来的数字货币交易所的审计，最后的法定不是所谓的4大，就是通过技术审计、区块链审计，这个大概需要1年以后的时间。刚才的第三方托管这个，我们很快。就在短期就会实现，全人类第一个提出来、第一个做到、第一个有这个能力的第三方接受我们的就是贤主。第二个，区块链啊，非那些4大诈骗专业组织所能代替的去中心化的审计啊，过去都是什么4大的都是流氓，都是骗子啊，去中心化就每个人每个用户都可以审计，区块链式的审计，大概今年年底或明年我们会做到，全世界一定是我们第一家。最后一条，所有人拥有数字货币的时候，最担心被偷走。今天比特币被偷了，那个币被偷了。我们大概今年年底到明年年底之间，我们是唯一一家啊，就把所有的数据存放啊，我们要上卫星。任何情况下啊，你的货币都被丢，你丢了，交易所会赔你。特别是我们要发展的冷钱包和热钱包，是吧？冷钱包就是把你的钱存到这个一个硬体里边。不在网上挂着，在兜里拿着，你想用的时候，到那一刷就过去，或一上网就发出来。热钱包就在网络上，随时可以在电脑云存储啊，电脑里你能支付的用的，就是热钱包，在线的钱包。 未来洗联储热钱包、冷钱包都有。最重要的事情，洗联储的战略合作者他们会有金的稳定币。什么叫金的稳定币啊？是由跟洗联储的投资机构他们来开发的。黄金拿出来，给一个咱们委托的机构，经过鉴定是真的，这是一套程序，迅速你就可以换到什么洗币、洗欧元、洗美元，甚至比特币，甚至可以放到冷钱包、热钱包。拿金换币，咱是第一家。第二，我买完了洗欧元，我又洗欧元，我又洗币，我把 SCN 卖出一部分，我要钱，我想换成黄金币，上去一点击，币就很快寄到你家去。我们这个币铸造的币，它的成色、它的真假是由英国、瑞士、卢森堡、日本、澳大利亚存在几十年、几百年的金融机构，它来帮助铸造，它帮助发售，它帮鉴定。不是稳定金币，就是金币。全世界有很多这样的币啊，你上网查，但都是假的，麻烦到你死。然后呢，这个币啊，你给你个纸啊，你拿纸去换币啊。我估计拿到金币的时候，我估计就像我要胡子都白了。而我们要求的事情，金换币，币换金币，都是瞬间的事情，而且是全球化的。
Okay, we are back. Now, I just want to quickly summarize 3 things that Malsko talked about. They are not the ones they're on the slide right now. Actually, he talks about first thing, blockchain. In the future is blockchain audit. That's technological audit. Every user is actually an auditor. We no longer have to rely on the big 4 of these big audit firms. Malsko says that they are all liars. Secondly, he talks about satellite. We are going to store, because for safety and everything else. In the past, we always talk about, we always hear exchanges having their coins being stolen by all the technological rogues. There are so many rogues who are much more technological savvy than us. So he talks about storing our coins in or our blockchain or whatever it is in the satellite. So he talks about hot wallet and cold wallet. And having it in the satellite just means that we are the only one that has it. The third thing he talks about exchanging our gold, our physical gold, and entrusting our gold to a third party, and in exchange for the gold coins, digital gold coins. That's something that I really look forward to, because who wants to keep all the bricks, our gold bricks, having to pay our safety deposit, and then even I've even heard of banks' safety deposit being stolen. Can you imagine? So how much more it is if we can exchange our physical gold in exchange for these digital gold coins? That gives it so much more flexibility. Now I would just want to pass my remaining time. You don't have very much time, 2007. Don't get carried away. To give you your comments about what you've heard from Malsko.
Well, basically, to conclude, the Himalaya Exchange, given those properties and also attributes no one else has, as you just said, Bindi. So the future, the mastership is that if you want to play in the digital currency world or cryptocurrency world with cold hot wallet and those with your data never been able to stolen, been put on the space, maybe put in the Mars as well, with a quantum computer, you can instantly access that information in even another universe as well. So this is, your only limitation is your imagination. Let's follow Malsko, follow Himalaya Exchange, take down the CCP. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.